Hi, I'm Krista, and this is Roseanne. I'm a product development chef here at Canada's Smartest Kitchen. Today we're going to cook a classic Italian dish of spaghetti, meat sauce, and garlic bread. So let's get started. So Roseanne, I'm going to get you to turn on the burner there. And we're just going to heat this up to a medium heat. There you go. Just turn it back just a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do, we're just going to let that warm up a bit, and then we're going to add our ground beef in. Put that right in. Okay, we're just going to break that up a little bit and let that cook out. And kind of move it all around the pan so that you want to cook it until all of the pink is gone from the meat. Okay, and while you're doing that, I'm going to cut up some onions. Okay, so I'm just going to take a small onion. One of the tricks with onions is to give it just a flat surface, so we're just going to cut the end off, each end. And peel off our skins. Okay, so once you have that done, you just put your flat edge down on your cutting board, and then we're just going to cut thin slices of your onion. So you want to make sure that you keep your fingers away from your knife and cut nice and slow so we don't have any accidents. How's your meat? Good? Okay. So we can just kind of let that cook for a bit. And just try and use your spatula to kind of break up the bigger pieces. So just kind of, break them down into little smaller pieces. Helps it cook a little quicker. So if you find it splattering a little bit, you can turn the heat down just a little bit. So just turn your dial just a little bit to the left there. There you go. Perfect. So now we're going to add the onions in. So we're just going to create a little space in the center of your pan there. I'm just going to add in our small onion, chopped up. Okay. And then we're going to add our oregano. So we're going to add half a teaspoon of oregano. So we're just going to make sure that we level this off so that it's even with the top of our spoon. Okay. Sprinkle that in. And then our teaspoon of garlic powder. Same thing, we're just going to level it off. Add that in, and you can give that a good stir. We're just going to let those onions cook for a minute until they soften up. Great, and we'll do the same thing that we did with the onions. We'll just make a little hole in the middle, and we'll give this to you. You can just scrape that in. Got it? Yeah. Put it right in there. That's great. Thanks, Roseanne. And you can just stir all that tomato paste into your meat. So just kind of mix it around just gently. Great, so at this point we're just trying to coat the meat with the tomato sauce. So you just want to kind of make it, make all the meat coated. And this just helps to thicken up our spaghetti sauce.
Alrighty.
Yeah, and adds a really nice tomato flavor to it. All right, so now we can add in our tomato sauce. This is just a jar of tomato basil sauce. Right. Okay, and stir that around. So once we get that all mixed in, we're just going to turn the heat down to 2 or 3 on your dial, so just to low. And we're just going to let that simmer for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes to let it all come together. Perfect. Okay, so now that that's simmering, we're going to give it to Jen to finish off on another burner. Okay, great.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, now we're going to start on the spaghetti. So I'm going to fill the pot 3/4 full with water. I'm going to put this back on the burner and we're going to turn this on high. So you can see 3/4 full is just not quite to the top, so about an inch or two from the top of the pot. Okay, so we're going to let that heat up. Okay, so once this comes up to the boil, we're going to add salt into the water. So that helps keep your pasta from sticking together as it's cooking. And we're going to use the whole box. So you need to have a spoon nearby so that you can stir your pasta as it's cooking so it doesn't stick. Almost ready. So I'm just going to put a couple generous teaspoons of salt into the pot. Almost boiling. Okay, now that it's boiling, we're just going to add our pasta in. So we're just going to add the whole box straight in. And Roseanne, you can just use the wooden spoon there and just stir it around a bit, just to kind of push it down into the water. It'll start to soften, it'll be easier to maneuver. Yeah, and you just kind of stir it around the pot, just kind of move it in. There you go. Perfect. So now, once all this pasta's in there, we're going to let the water come back up to the boil, and then we're just going to turn it down just to like a medium-high setting. So 6 or 7 on your stove. And we're just going to let that boil for about 10 minutes until it's al dente, or just tender.
All right.
Okay. And you want to stir it fairly frequently so that it doesn't stick together. If you don't stir it, you're going to find that it all clumps together and it's not going to be as nice. Okay, so you can use your spoon and just kind of stir that around. Okay, and while the spaghetti's cooking, we have our garlic bread ready. So we just have the ready-made garlic bread on a pan lined with tin foil. We're just going to pop that in the oven at 400. So it took about 10 minutes for our spaghetti to finish cooking. And in the meantime, we had our garlic bread in the oven, so I'm just going to pull that out now. So garlic bread is nice and brown, so you can see it's just a nice light golden brown, which is exactly what you want. So we're just going to cut this, oops. So I'm just going to cut this into slices, just making sure to keep your fingers out of the way. Just going to put it back on my pan. Okay, so now we're going to plate our finished spaghetti. So we're just going to take a little bit of the spaghetti, just let that kind of drain off a bit. Put that on your plate. Okay, set this aside. Perfect. We're going to have Jen bring back in our finished spaghetti sauce. Up there on the burner for us. Thank you, Jen. So you want to scoop some of the meat sauce on top of your spaghetti. Right in the middle there. Perfect. That's good. Looks great. Okay. And then we're just going to put a couple pieces of garlic bread on the side. There we go. What do you think?
Looks good.
Looks good? Good enough to eat?
Good enough.
Awesome. That's it. And that's our spaghetti and meat sauce with garlic bread.